Hey everybody, it's your boy Big T, and I'm back with another video. It's Friday, hallelujah, it's Friday, March 24th. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, please hit that subscribe button down below. We are almost to 5,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all the love and support. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about this video. You guys have really been loving the Dr. Phil stuff. And so this is part 2 of what I started yesterday on the psychological weight of obesity. If you're looking for other types of videos, like if you subscribe to my Big T Reacts channel and you notice that I have not put another video up there, I've been really busy this week. I've actually gotten a lot of content writing in. So yeah, I've been busy doing that, and so I haven't had time to make extra videos outside of my Big T Bariatric channel. So hopefully by next week, we will start getting those videos up, and I'm still trying to get another video on my Patreon. If you are a Patreon supporter, thank you very much. Starting on Monday, I'm going to create a new introduction. I've already created it, but it's probably not going to be on this video because my editing software does not allow me to upload videos that are larger than a gig. And so this one will be, because yesterday's video was shorter, and it didn't allow me to do it. So this one's probably not going to allow me to do it either. So I guess I'm looking for a new editing software that allows me to upload things higher than a gig. But anyways, I did create a new introduction that included the names of all my Patreon supporters. And so if you want to be on that list, it's just $1 a month to become a Patreon supporter of Big T Bariatric, and the money goes 100% towards helping me improve this channel. And so I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you very much. The links are down below if you want to become a Patreon supporter. If you want to become a follower of Big T Bariatric, I have a Facebook and I have a Twitter, and I'm still working on getting an Instagram up. So we have social media. We have a Discord page with over 100 members right now. It's growing every single day. And you can leave me an email at bigtbariatric@gmail.com. So there's lots of ways to support the channel, to become a part of the Big T Bariatric family. I appreciate you guys so very much. All right, so let's get into this video, part 2 of the psychological weight of obesity.
Everyone talks about romanticizing your life. But that can be really hard to do as a plus-size person when you're never portrayed as the main character. We're told that our bodies are wrong, that our stretch marks and rolls are unattractive, when in reality, they're what make us unique. So we need to be our own main characters. We need to find the beauty in life's smallest things. We need to find the beauty in ourselves. Because we're only given one body, and life's too short to spend it hating yourself.
She says something impactful there, that you only have one body. But that's true that you only have one life. Why would you spend that life being unhealthy? And I know people are going to come at me and say, Big T, being fat doesn't make you unhealthy. Yes, it does. Why would you spend and waste your life being out of breath just doing simple things? Being in a larger body that makes it harder to do other things? Why would you spend any time whatsoever crushing your own organs with your fat? Why would you risk getting diseases, having a higher risk of cancer and heart attacks and strokes and diabetes and all these other things just because you think that your stretch marks make you unique? I mean, you could be smaller and have stretch marks. I know a lot of people who have stretch marks and they're not super obese or anything like that. So yeah, you do have one body. You have one chance to have a life. And this is what you're choosing. Okay.
Well, we've been talking about the obesity epidemic and body positivity movement, and are they at odds? Now, my next guest, Jenny, says throughout her life, she never minded being bigger and even worked as a mental health counselor for 7 years until one day she lost her job and gained more weight than she could have ever imagined.
My entire life, I've been what would be considered obese. Today I weigh almost 500 pounds. I feel like I'm a prisoner inside my own body. I worked as a counselor for about 7 years before I got laid off. I feel like the irony in all this is that I spent years trying to help other people out, and my life is now spiraling out of control. At this point, I'm basically disabled because of my weight. I can't hardly walk. I can go about 10 steps, and then my legs just give out. I have to use a wheelchair. I've not been able to work. Doing just basic things like bathing and cooking, cleaning the house, everything has to be done.
I mean, this is just a basic picture of what my life was like before weight loss surgery and losing all this weight. Like, I lost almost 100 pounds before surgery, so things were getting better then, and now they're so much better now that I'm in the 400s. So yeah, everything that I did, if I did do dishes, which I hardly ever had the strength and stamina to do, but I had to sit down to do it. If I wanted to cook myself something, I had to sit down to do it. To take a shower, I had to sit down to do it. Because, yeah, I took about 10 steps, and I was in agony, and I felt like my legs were going to give out on me. My back pain was at a 10, maybe even 11 out of 10. And so, yeah, this is what it's like being obese right here. This is a very clear picture of it. You can walk very, very little, and everything else you do is very, very restricted. So that's why I fight against this. And someone yesterday called me a freaking bully because I warn against obesity. I mean, do you guys think that I'm a bully because I talk about these issues? Because I called Fat Sapphic Bro ignorant? This person said that I called people idiots and shits and that I bully people, and I'm pretty much a hypocrite because I used to be that big. Well, I'm still pretty big, but I know what this is like. I know what it is living this way. And it's miserable. And this person kept insisting, well, I am 470 pounds and I'm still happy, so you're a complete liar. But I guess this person had a little different situation where they were allergic to foods. And so this allergy, every time they ate these certain foods, this allergy made them like ravenous and wanted to eat more and more and more. So once they figured out they were allergic to foods and they stopped eating that, they started losing weight because, that they were able to lose weight. And it's like, okay, if there's situations like that, you're the exception to the rule of what I'm trying to talk about here. You're the exception to that. We're talking about people who choose to get this big, who try to play off that they're happy and they're healthy being as big as they are when clearly they're completely miserable. Now, this person could completely join the fat positivity movement and say, I'm happy, I'm healthy, but she's completely miserable being that size. If you're 300 pounds, if you're even 400 pounds, I can understand where you're like, all right, I'm happy being me. I'm gonna be positive about myself. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to be happy. Because you're still somewhat mobile, you're still able to do some things. But you're really getting to this dangerous territory where your life is at risk every single day. People are dying in their sleep due to obesity. And I'm going to keep fighting against that. I don't care if you call me a bully. I don't care if you hate me and you hate my channel and whatever. I don't care. I'm going to continue fighting against this because I've been here. You don't know what it's like. They have to sit down, to walk 10 steps and be in pain and be out of breath. To not be able to take a shower, and if you do, you have to sit down, and it's just so strenuous on you. Most people don't understand what that's like. So I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep doing this channel and making these videos, and I don't care if you don't like it. I'm not bullying people. I'm calling out the nonsense.
In an altered way. Most of my life, I'm confined to my bed. It's the only place where I can sit in a position that's comfortable, that doesn't cause pain. Psychologically, there are lots of issues. I'm depressed. I'm anxious all the time. When I see myself, I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I feel like I live on the edge, one fall, and that could just be over, or I could just have a heart attack at any minute. If I don't get immediate help, I feel like I will be dead, but there's just no other way around it.
I mean, yeah, that's the psychological weight, as Dr. Phil called this video, of being obese. You are scared all the time. You're not sure if you're going to wake up in the morning. You don't know if today is the day when you're going to have a heart attack. I mean, I used to have bad heartburn, and anytime I'd get heartburn, it sort of mimicked what a heart attack feels like, because you get a little pain right here in the center of your chest. And I never knew. Anytime I had heartburn, whether or not that was it for me, whether or not I should call 911, because it would give me such panic thinking that I was about to die. Being anxious all the time, being in pain all the time. That's a miserable existence. So I'm not talking about people who are a little overweight and are still happy with their lives. That's not what this is about. This is about being 600 pounds, 700 pounds, heck, being 500 pounds, and just being miserable at your size. I'm a lot happier now that I have lost the weight. So, but I'm not happy with where I'm at right now. I still got a couple of 100 pounds more to lose. So I got to double my efforts. It's going to be another year or so before I get to where I want to be. So it is going to be hard work, but you can do it.
Jenny, it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
How did you get from where you were to where you are now?
At some point, I just gave up. I used to be a lot like you. You know, I said, hey, I'm a big girl. If you don't like it, don't look. You know, I did things. I had a normal life for a while, and then one day, oh, I can't step over the lip of the bathtub, you know? So I have to find another way to do that normal thing. And one day I can't go up the stairs. It's just slowly things just started going away until there was nothing left. And then the bigger I got, the worse the mental health got, because you can't do anything and you're stuck.
And, you know, right now it's clear with Jenny, because I've read every word that you've said that we've asked you about, you get so far from where you want to be that it looks insurmountable. It's like, I'm so far gone now, there's no way I can ever get back, and you just give up.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot too. It's like when you try to look back at, oh, wow, I gained 100 pounds. What does it take to lose 100 pounds? That's a lot of work. And so for a lot of people, it's easier for them to say, oh, man, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm addicted to this food. I'm so miserable in my life. I need that comfort. And we've seen so many people on My 600 Pound call their food like a hug, their comfort. It's their sex. We've talked about this a lot. So, yeah, that's the only joy that they have in their life, because they are so miserable, because their lives are so bad. And they feel stuck in their body, and they don't think there's anything that they could do about it, because they've tried to diet, and they've tried to do this and tried to do that, and they bought these pills, and they've been on this program and that program, and they keep failing because it's just so hard to do. And before you know it, you need to lose 200 pounds and then 300 pounds. And it's just so insurmountable. The more you keep looking back, and you're like, oh, wow, I wish I was this size again. It's just easier for me to join the fat positivity movement and try to love myself despite the way I look, and consider myself unique because I have stretch marks and all this other nonsense.
Which I'm going to convince you is not true, but this is part of what you deal with.
Hi, Jenny. So nice to meet you. I also studied everything that you submitted, and what touched me the most, besides my personal commitment to this and what broke my heart, is when you said you don't feel human anymore. And you are so worthy of going through these changes and getting your sense of self back for your daughter, for yourself. Everything is possible.
I think this is very important dialogue here that they're having. She's telling her that you are worthy. You are worthy. You should love yourself. You should want to take care of yourself. So this is where I think a lot of it deviates, is that if we're on this side of the issue and we're talking about obesity and the dangers of it, that we just hate fat people, that we think that they should hate themselves. And that's what a lot of Fat Sapphic Bro was talking about, that, I shouldn't hate myself. I shouldn't be so focused on the scale. It's like, no, this is not what we're talking about. We're not telling you should hate yourself. We are telling you that you should love yourself. You should love yourself enough to want to get healthy. And just giving into this movement so that you can pretend to have some kind of happiness about yourself It's just absolutely ridiculous because being obese is self-harm because you're doing it to yourself. You are harming yourself. So this dialogue is important. You are worthy. You are a human being. You deserve happiness. And you are miserable inside because of the way you look while you're trying to outwardly project your happiness. And it's just not there. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. You are worthy. You are loved.
Start right now today. This is about living for you and to find a lifestyle, like Dr. Phil said, a lifestyle that's achievable.
But I also think it's important that we don't paint overweight people as these pathetic cases that need to be fixed and that you can't live life and that you're miserable. Because I don't feel miserable. I can do everything else my friends can do, okay? And we think that fat people, we're lazy, we shove our faces with hamburgers. But I know plenty of skinny friends that don't eat well. I eat better than them.
That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. You don't get that big eating better than your friends do. She's not that big. She's got some weight on her, so yeah, she is mobile. She's able to do some things, but she's also really young. So that's part of it too. Is like all these people are younger and they are more mobile. They are able to do the things that their friends could do. It hasn't developed into a problem for them yet. They don't have diabetes yet. They don't have high blood pressure yet. They're not facing the reality of their body constantly breaking down. The damage is accumulative over years, over decades is when it happens. And yeah, there are people 28 years old, 32 years old dying of a heart attack. So she's got to be careful here because her body is breaking down. It might not be noticeable yet, but it's starting. Her organs are probably crying out for help. Her liver is probably crying out for help right now as the fat starts squeezing her organs and grows within them. So again, we don't want you to be miserable. We're not saying that we hate you. And I'm also trying to say that we need to have sympathy and understand that you are a human being. But to boldface lie and say you eat healthier than your skinny friends when you're that big, that's just not true. That's a lie that we tell ourselves. Well, I eat healthier than this person and they're skinny, and so there's just a problem with me is I can't lose weight. It's my metabolism. I just put on weight, water weight, and oh, I'm just big boned, and those are just excuses. You clearly eat worse than your friends do. Maybe not worse, but more. I mean, you could still go out and have McDonald's, but your friend eats less McDonald's than you do, well, you're going to carry more weight. You might be saying, oh, we went to McDonald's together and, we had this and this, but they ate less than you. You ate more than them. It's calories in, calories out. It's that simple.
Exercise better than them, but they won the genetic lottery and they can get away with that. But because I can't, me as a human is questioned of my values and how important I am as a human. So I think it's important that we also talk about that too, is that we're not something that needs to be fixed.
Well, I think that is being talked about. And you say, I'm not miserable. She is.
And I totally
You can't
get that.
turn a deaf ear to that because you're defensive about people saying that about you. You have to be empathetic with her because she is that way right now. And because you aren't doesn't mean you turn a deaf ear to her.
This is the...
All right, I'm going to skip through that. But yeah, that's an important point too. Like, okay, if you're not miserable right now, you see the side effect of what's going to happen years later if you continue down the road of where you're at. You're early on in this journey. And yeah, you've probably been over the overweight kid, the fat kid like I have. But you see where you're headed. Because the bigger lady on here, she's in her 40s. And the blonde lady, I'm sorry, I'm not good with names. I should write them down and put them right here for me to look at. But she's early. She's young. She has not had the same problems that the bigger woman did. So, I mean, it's just very interesting.
say, I'm not miserable. She is.
And I totally
You can't
get that.
turn
I'm
a deaf ear
sorry.
to that because you're defensive about people saying that about you. You have to be empathetic with her because she is that way right now. And because you aren't doesn't mean you turn a deaf ear to her.
And the thing is that the body positive movement and myself, we're not against people losing weight, of course. That's not it at all.
What another lie. Maybe you're not against people losing weight, but a lot of them are. Because as soon as you're part of this movement, if you decide that you want to lose weight, they hate your guts. They hate you for it. They hate your before and after pictures. They call you a traitor to your body. They call you a traitor to the movement. I mean, this was filmed in 2022, so maybe sentiment has changed in the last year, but I doubt it. They are against people losing weight because they hate to see you losing weight and getting happier and healthier because you're a traitor to them. You might get some love and some acceptance joining this movement, and everybody agrees with you when you're there and you surround yourself with a bunch of people who think like you and accept you and cheer you on, and so that makes you feel good. But the second you decide to leave, they will turn on you. And there's several people I've talked to on my Discord and other places who said, yeah, I used to be a part of this movement, but the second that I left it, they turned on me. So yeah, it's like what she's saying is absolutely untruthful.
But the problem that we're not addressing is that right now our current culture treats exercise as a weight loss and not as something to feel good about yourself. And it feels good to move. And we're not talking about how toxic the diet industry is too. I mean, like, I think in 2019, it was a $78 billion industry. And 95% of diets fail. So it's not that it's as easy as just going on a diet when we have an industry that has been designed to make you fail to get more money out of your pocket.
Well, it's worse than that. People that go on a diet during the year, by the end of the year, will have gained more weight than people that never even went on a diet.
Exactly.
You're exactly right. It is a toxic situation. It has to be a lifestyle. And I think that's what you're talking about is a lifestyle.
Yeah, that is true. That a lot of people fail on their diets because they buy into this fad and they buy into that fad, and then it might work for a little bit and they lose a little bit of water weight in the beginning and they think, oh well, this diet is working a little bit. Then as soon as they plateau, they freak out and say, oh, it's not working. And really, food addiction is a real problem when it comes to people trying to lose weight. They are addicted to eating certain foods. It's such a huge part of our culture. So yeah, maybe diet culture is a $78 billion business, but the fat business is trillions and trillions of dollars. Okay, they're making trillions of dollars off of making people fat. So you can call out the diet culture as toxic all you want to, and I would agree with you to some point. But the getting fat culture is trillions of dollars, okay? They're making money and profiting off of you being fat. The sugar industry, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, the Taco Bells. Like, yeah, I mean, they're profiting off of your fatness and off of your misery. So then you develop a food addiction, eating these things, eating pounds and pounds of sugar per year, and then you wonder why you can't lose weight when the whole thing begins and ends with your mind. You think it's some fad diet's going to get you there, but that's not how it's going to work. You're going to have to get some therapy to deal with the trauma that you went through. You're going to have to work on yourself. You're going to have to find something that works for you that you can stick with for the rest of your life. And yeah, it's going to be the rest of your life because as soon as you quit and you go back to eating any way that you used to eat before, you're going to fail again. And you're going to gain all that weight back and even more. Like Dr. Phil said, you're going to be heavier at the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. And you might have had all intention of losing weight and going into the new year and like, yeah, I'm going to, I have all these weight loss resolutions and I'm going to do great. And just do what I did and always ending the year heavier than you were when you started. Because you keep giving in to the fads and the pills and the magic tricks and this and that, and those things do not work. Stop giving your money to them. Stop giving your money to these programs and these personal trainers who think they can whip you up into shape, and it's all in your mind. You got to develop the psychological part and deal with the trauma and get over the food addiction first. And that's hard to do because our culture is saturated in the fat industry. Trillions and trillions of dollars are made off of our misery.
Yeah, and you know, if I may, I love your point of view. Totally get it. None of this is easy.
Amanda had a good point that she said earlier. There's many things that you don't think about, like when I was 250 pounds and I could run around and do whatever, or 300 pounds and I could run around and work and did everything everybody else did. I never thought of the damage I was doing to all my bones. Now there are bone spurs all over my back, bone spurs in my knees. I need knee replacement, hip replacement, back surgery. It's just broke my whole body completely down.
And you're not.
And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, I've been there. I know this. And she's been there too. And she's older than I am. Like, yeah, when you're 20, when you're 30, and you're, just a little bit overweight, and then you start gaining weight, and it's like, yeah, you're fine, but it starts breaking down your body. I wonder if that's wrong. What's wrong with my knees if I have a spur or something in there? I don't know. There's something wrong with my knees, and they are painful. Even losing 170 plus pounds. Like, my back still hurts. My neck is killing me right now sitting in this position to make this video. I'm in a lot of pain doing these videos, but it's worth it to me to get this information out there. Your body will start breaking down. Your organs will start suffering.
And I never even, now, right? And I'm not, no, they cannot do the back surgery. They said it would just come right back, if I do it at this weight.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they told me about my knees. I don't know if I need back surgery or not. I'm going to have to get all that checked out when I get the weight off. But yeah, there's nothing they can do about it. You can go in and get surgery, and which they won't be able to do at your size. But even if you were able to, the fact that you're still big, it's going to come right back. You're not going to solve any problems when you're still big. And that's why people hate it when they go to the doctor and they say it's medical bias, and your doctor says, well, you need to lose weight first. It's like, well, the doctor's 100% right. There's nothing they can do until you lose the weight, because surgery and pills and medications, none of that is going to fix your problem. None of it will. That's why I ended up addicted to painkillers before. Is because I was like, wow, this makes me feel good and it helps me deal with my pain. But the pain didn't go away because I was still huge. So, I mean, it's just, you're putting yourself in a self-destructive loop. Your body's breaking down and you think, oh, I can just go to the doctor. I can get some pills. I can do this surgery and whatever. It's like, no, until you deal with the weight first, the pain and the problems with your body are not going to go away.
MRI's 15 years old. Who knows how much worse my back has gotten in 15 years because I can't fit in the MRI machine. It's lots of things you don't think about.
Well, I want to be very clear, because these are two different things. One is in terms of body positivity, in terms of how you feel about yourself as a human being. And the other is how healthy you are at whatever shape. Living in the extremes from a health standpoint can be very, very dangerous. That has nothing to do with how you feel about yourself as a human being. So it's, to me, these are mutually exclusive.
And I agree with Dr. Phil there. They are mutually exclusive. You can still feel loved and feel accepted and feel like a human being as you deserve to feel. You deserve love. People should accept you as you are. You should not be excluded. But at the same time, you should also realize the health risks behind what you're doing to yourself.
Your self-image and your body image, that's what I mean. Those things should be separated. We'll be right back.
Every day that I don't do anything about my weight is one step closer to the grave for me. Usually when I wake up, I'm already thinking about ordering pizza. So then I'll eat something like cheese and crackers, and then I have the plate of brownies. And then my mom comes home, and then I'll eat regular dinner with her. You just have that moment.
Develops over time. How old were you when you...
I skipped forward that because it said TLC in the corner, and I don't want this video to get blocked. So I just fast forwarded it just a little bit. Let's go back a few seconds.
Obesity, which is a chronic illness that develops over time. How old were you when you were first put on a diet?
Probably like 10.
See, that's just
And I have
so...
a very distinct memory of my family went skiing, and I didn't want to wear snow pants because I thought I looked fat. An 8 or 10-year-old should not be thinking about that. They should be thinking about experiencing life and experiencing snowboarding, but I was so afraid of how others perceived me.
Yeah. Joining us from her home in West Virginia is Jenny's mom, Sherry. Sherry, we were just talking with a man about going on a diet at a young age. In looking back, do you see things in Jenny's childhood that you think sensitized her to being hypervigilant about this in a way that's contributed to her obesity today?
Oh, yeah. I was an overweight child myself, so I didn't want Jenny to go through that at all. So, yes, at a very young age, I did start to limit her food. And I know now that that doesn't work. It didn't work with me. It didn't work with Jenny. I still don't know how to help her.
Did you feel hypersensitized to it at a young age?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Like she was saying, you remember about I can remember us shopping and I was going to be in a 6X, which is about a 5 or 6-year-old. And, you know, the comments, oh, you're getting so big.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a kid, that stuff can be damaging. And parents don't know how to deal with it. If their kid keeps getting bigger and bigger, they don't know what to do. Other than, okay, we're going to put you on a diet. We're going to, in my case, I had a grandma put me on a cabbage soup diet. They family bought me exercise bikes and they forced me to ride it 30 minutes every day. You know, parents don't know how to deal with that. And there's all these comments. You're getting fat. You're getting bigger. And it's damaging when you're a little kid. And that could lead to higher rates of obesity because you want to run away from that and you're tired of hearing it from people. And of course, you're getting made fun of in school too because kids are brutal with obesity. Oh, look at the fat kid and blah, blah, blah. I used to counter being the fat kid and being made fun of by being funny. So I'm still pretty funny today. I use humor to break the ice. I love teasing people. It's a great part of my personality, and people tease me right back, and it's fun, and I love it. Like, I have a great sense of humor. But I developed that because it was easier to break the ice by being funny. I remember in, like, middle school and stuff like that, I would run run right into a basketball hoop, like the pole that holds up the basketball hoop, and like fall backwards. And I did that because, and it hurt like heck, but it made people laugh and people liked me. So just being funny and doing dumb things like that made people like me, and so it disarmed them, and they didn't make fun of my weight. And you know, I got the name Big T from high school. You know, when I started playing football, the the guys called me Big T, and so that's where I got the Big T nickname from. So yeah, I was always bigger, but I was accepted because I played football and I made them laugh, and I got along with everybody, like every group, every yeah, I forgot the term for it, but every group in high school I was friends with, and everybody liked me. But at the end of the day, I didn't have any like really deep personal friendships. It was all like acquaintances with good friends. Everybody knew me, and you know, would say hi to me in the hallways and stuff like that. So I was friends with everybody, but I didn't really have any deep, close friendships because we always moved around all the time, and so I always went from school to school to school, and you know, I didn't grow up with a certain group of friends my whole life, and so I was part of their friendships, but I wasn't really deeply a part of them, and really, my weight kept me from having a normal childhood. I didn't go to any of the dances. I didn't have a girlfriend, and you know, just all those things that you want to experience when you're a teenager and growing it into an adult. Like, I look back on my high school years totally regretting so many things that I didn't get to experience, and now I can't experience those.
You went up to, and that could have just been that because I was only 6, but I didn't take it that way. So, yeah, I don't blame her. I really gained a lot when I left her house because I was like, not going to eat whatever I want, and I went a little crazy. But, yeah, it's just always been there.
So much of this is your mindset and what you've been programmed to think and how you've been programmed to see yourself. And we've been talking about the psychology of obesity, but what's the psychology of the society that you're living in? The psychology behind fast food chains. The research may really surprise you. We're going to talk about what the targets are there and what that psychology game is when we come back.
I'm going to pause here to see how much is left. Okay, I don't know if I should do this now or do a part 3. I guess we will do it now. Let's just get this finished.
Okay, is everybody having a good time in the audience today? All right. Well, as we start to return to normal life, it is still important to be aware of the air around you. And it is going home purifiers, colors, capturing 9 against allergies. Alex, just go to Alan. Thanks so much.
According to the CDC, nearly 2/3 of American adults are either overweight or obese.
Obesity on its own contributes to hundreds of thousands of premature deaths in the United States every year.
We're more likely to be overweight if our friends and family members are also overweight.
What we learn is that if you are obese as a child, you are more likely to be obese as an adult.
Now, when it comes to the psychology of eating, what we eat affects how we feel. But could advertising be brainwashing us into making unhealthy food choices? Well, that's a loaded question because the answer is hell yes.
Yeah. Well,
so I wanted to take a look at how.
Yeah. When I talk about how the fat industry is $1 trillion industry, it's like, yeah, ads do a lot to brainwash us. Like, I remember, like, after surgery, I didn't have that drive to eat anymore. I wasn't hungry, and I just had my, like, 90% of my stomach ripped out of me. So I wasn't hungry. I was on a liquid diet, and just a little bit of water or a little bit of soup or something filled me up. But then I'd turn on the TV, and I'd see, the latest Burger King or the latest Taco Bell and menu item, and it's like, wow, I'm starving again. It's like you could look at that food and just see that advertising, and there's a reason why they don't allow cigarettes to be advertised anymore, because it is a raging addiction, and you see those ads and you just want to go out and get some more cigarettes. It's the same way with food. Like, I know in a capitalist society you're not going to be able to ban advertisements for food, but I don't know. I think with the way our obesity epidemic is going, and the way they advertise to kids and get them fat as a younger kid, and they end up growing up, like Dr. Phil said, if you're fat as a kid, you're more likely to grow up and become a fat adult. But they start advertising you from a young age, and you become addicted to these foods. And you grow up with so many great warm memories of eating at McDonald's with your family, so you're going to do that with your family when you start having children. I mean, it's just psychological. It's all there. It's like $1 trillion industry to keep you fat.
Advertising affects obesity, and when you look at fast food chains and what they do and where they focus, everything has a purpose. When you look at the colors that are used in most of the fast food restaurants, red, blue, and yellow. Red is stimulating, blue and yellow are associated with happiness and comfort. And this is empirically tested. Americans define value differently than other countries do. It's quick, convenient, cheap. Size is big, and they target the children. Some of them have playgrounds, right?
I should go back a second. Fast food success, ability to understand, sell experience, sell hope of happiness, sell lasting memories, tasty, large portions, accessible fun. Children grow into consuming adults. Exactly what I just said. The average household spends 10% of their income on fast food. 10%. That's $1,200 a year on fast food.
The children, some of them have playgrounds, right? And the average household spends approximately 10% of their income on fast food. And those are not highly nutritious foods, correct?
That's right. And, you know, food companies know that kids actually have a higher preference for sugar and sweetness. This is something we're born with because from an evolutionary perspective, sweetness is meant to favor breast milk, which is sweet, favor seeking out of good calories and avoiding food that had spoiled. Clearly, we're not dealing with that anymore. We've evolved from that. The food companies know this, so they're essentially, you could say they're hijacking the innate preference for sweetness that kids are born with. And this preference can be amped up with more sugar and more sweetness. Once you start feeding that, it becomes addictive.
And that's dangerous. And that's part of the lifestyle aspect. And that's something that you address in the Brooke Burke Body app, right? I mean, it's a lifestyle where you adopt a whole different pattern than what you've done before.
We can't deny that we're a bit of a quick fix society. I don't believe there are any easy solutions in this area. I think we have to develop a lifestyle and focus on what we can have rather than what we have to give up. I think advertising and marketing affects every area of our life, so we have to begin to drown out that noise and create healthy ambiance in our life at home, which is really the only space that we can control.
Jenny is here today to make a change, and Brooke says she wants to help. The question is, does Jenny want to do it? Because it's not easy. It's hard work, but it's doable. We'll be right back. What's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website. Lost 25 pounds, but needs to lose 100 to qualify for weight loss surgery. Now, last month, Jenny says she fell off of her diet and has been scared to step back on the scale until today. Well, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you are.
Oh man, to have to step on a scale in front of a national audience.
Right now, I'm feeling nervous about getting weighed. Not sure how I've done in the last month. The last time I weighed myself was a month or so.
Oh man, look at her face. She is disappointed. She is not watching this. She knows she's embarrassed to step on that scale.
Ago, and it was 476. I have no idea how much I weigh right now. I just weighed myself. I don't know what the weight was. I want Dr. Phil to tell me that and see how I'm doing. I'm hoping that Dr. Phil can help. I feel like this is my last chance for help. I've tried everything on my own and nothing's working, so hopefully this will be it.
I mean, that goes to show just how much she wants this, that she's willing to go on Dr. Phil's show, talk about her weaknesses, get weighed in front of a national audience, and just get the help that she needs to get. And I hope part of this isn't Dr. Phil trying to be exploitive. I don't think so. I think he legitimately wants to help her get the weight off. But, you know, it just shows how desperate people are to lose weight, but they don't know where to begin because they've tried everything else. They've tried all the fads, they've tried all the pills and the magic quick fixes and everything else, and none of it works. And they just get to a point where they're like, I've tried everything, and I can't figure it out. I can't lose the weight. And it begins with getting psychological help, honestly.
Well, Jenny weighed 476 pounds in November of 2021, and your fear is that you've ballooned up, right? Well, you haven't. You've lost 4 pounds since then, so you've held the line.
Okay.
And it's really not about that number. It's about, are you doing anything in an organized, sustained way to have a return to health? And the answer is no, because like you said, you've just kind of given up. And Brooke has a sustained strategy, a sustained plan that is lifestyle oriented.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take, right? Along with getting psychological help to help you work out the trauma, the reason why you use food to cope with your trauma or anything else that you're dealing with, you need a sustained strategy that you're going to be able to take with you for the rest of your life. And that's not saying you could never go out to eat again, that you can't celebrate with food with your family and stuff like that. That's going to always be a part of your life. But you need a sustained strategy that you can take with you, a new way of eating, a new way of looking at food. Like, it's all part of the plan if you're going to lose weight. That's why I enjoyed my weight loss program, because it was all there. Psychological help, a dietitian, getting you to see foods differently. And I talk about the pickle story, how I thought pickles were healthy. And so I was eating several pickles per day, and I find out that there's so much salt in pickles that a single pickle is not even a serving size. It's like 3/4 of a pickle or 1/4 of a pickle, something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but yeah, serving size of a pickle is not even a full pickle. But you think it's healthy because it's a vegetable, but there's just so much salt. 10,000 plus grams of salt, or whatever it is. I'm not good with numbers, but I mean, it's just astronomically high. And so if you eat a lot of pickles and drink pickle juice and all this stuff, it's like you think it's healthy, you think it's good for you. And it's really damaging you because you're getting so much salt in that. So you need to be more aware. I talked about in yesterday's video about the yogurt, and I had a few comments like, yeah, I used to be that way too. I used to think yogurt was healthy, and so I was eating a lot of yogurt, but they pack so much sugar in yogurt. So you have to be conscious of these things that you've thought were healthy growing up your whole life. You start realizing, wow, these things aren't healthy. These things are contributing to my obesity and my food addiction. So you're gonna have to work on those things, and it's gonna take time, and you have to put forward a strategy. So get involved in a bariatric program. You don't have to get surgery if you're not there, if you think you could do it on your own, but get involved with a program that has comprehensive help for you.
It's not a diet. It's embracing a lifestyle with a support system where you can make changes that accumulate across time. And she's passionate about reaching out and helping you if you're willing to lean into it and do the hard work.
I'm ready.
Is that something you want to do?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're ready? I would like to help you to develop small, immediate goals. I'd like to help you develop personal promises and encourage you to help find your faith that you can keep those promises because you're worthy, and we can do it.
Have you had a better offer lately?
No.
I suspect not. You'll keep us posted, right?
I will. I sure will.
All right. Well, what I want all of you here in the studio, virtual audience, and at home to take away is that you just have to be mindful. There are professionals in this world that are targeting us in certain ways. Diets, they're not great, but lifestyle changes do work. And, you know, Brooke wants to offer Jenny a whole lot of things to get started with. And I'm talking about this whole setup that we've got.
What I like to do is just share with you some things that I do genuinely, organically, simple things.
All right, I'm just going to cut it off right here. It's almost done. If you want to watch the rest of this, the link's down below, but I'm not trying to advertise any of this that I haven't researched myself. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. You got a lot out of it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Tomorrow I'm going tonight, but tomorrow I'll be at my friend Steve's house. We're going to go to the movies finally, so I might record that experience because it's the first time I've been to the movies in years and years, so that'll be a lot of fun. But if I don't see you and I don't make a video, I'll probably be back on Sunday with a video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I love you very much. God bless you.